Welcome everyone to Midwest Tree ID. On this channel, it is my mission to help you learn an abundance of trees that grow right here in the Midwest, and some key features on how to identify them. There's just one thing to clarify before we begin. We're not going to be throwing hatred or ridiculing any of the species that we're going to be talking about. But we do, however, want to encourage thoughtful conversation in the comments about personal experiences and things like that. Please try to remember that everything has value and that we are here to enjoy nature and everything it has to offer. So without anything else, let's jump right in. Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for joining me. Today we're at Mount Hope Cemetery in Urbana, Illinois, and we're talking about Betula lenta. This is the black birch or sweet birch, depending on which one you want to call it. Not an overly extensively used birch in this area, that's for sure, mainly because it doesn't have a lot of the similar bark features that most of our birches are known for, and I'll show you the bark in just a minute. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the leaves. So the leaves are typically going to be about a little bit of an ovate shape, and pretty consistent, as a nice oblong looking shape leaf there. Nice and green with these little serrated edges and coming to a nice point at the tip. And they're going to be on relatively slender yet kind of a bronzy colored stems. And what we're looking at here is actually the start of our nutlets, our seeds. Based on literature that I've read, it's not overly viable seed all the time. Still would be interesting to see if I can't get it to grow in the nursery. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the bark and the habit so I can show you the ways this birch differs from most of our other birches and why it's not as commonly used, though I think it should be. So the bark on the black birch is going to be much more blocky, not quite as flaky and peeling as what you might expect on pretty much every other birch. And it's going to be very gray and kind of dark, even with a little bit of streaks of white, as you can kind of see here, but going to be much more platy, blocky, and kind of a deeper gray, almost black, not quite that dark. On some of the outer stems, perhaps, maybe it will be a little bit darker. But on the more mature bark, not so much. So that's definitely going to be very, very different from most of our other birches that have got lighter bark, white bark. That tends to exfoliate quite a bit. So there's not much exfoliation on the bark of the black birch. So this isn't going to be the greatest depiction of the habit for black birch due to the overcrowding of the dead pin oak behind it here, or above it here. But typically the black birch is going to have a little bit of a rounded to a conical shape. And it can be quite dense. It can turn into a very nice shade tree. A lot of our birches can be a little bit scrubby sometimes. Not really so much with this one. So I really would love to see the black birch being utilized a little bit more frequently in landscaping around this area. So the black birch is native to mainly the eastern states, pretty much east of Illinois, not really native here, which is mainly one of the reasons why we don't really see it very commonly in most of our forests and natural areas. But it is native Ohio, pretty much all the way down to the southern states. And so it can probably be seen a little bit more frequently in their forests there. But I would love to see it used much more frequently in our landscapes here, just because it is another piece of diversity that we can use and should be able to use relatively well. So I do want to try to see about the seed, see if I can't get it growing in the nursery, and we'll keep you updated and posted on that. But for now, I think that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you guys next time.